Hey baddies, welcome back to my channel. If you're new, welcome. But first of all, sorry for looking like this. I'm about to go to bed, but I'm gonna do my nails, and I'm someone who I like to do my nails at night right before bed because the products that I use, they don't, well, some of them don't have any quick drying claims, but they do dry down very quickly. I recently made the choice to revert back to using regular polish and try to limit acrylics and gel as much as I can on my nails, just because I feel like my nails, they're not bad, but I would like for them to be a little bit better. And so I've been trying to minimize that, and also just the economy truly. But I've always loved red nails. I think they are so chic, they are so classy, they are so clean looking, especially high shine red nails. However, as a teenager, I could not afford gel manicures. So it made me want to branch out and try different products. And so some of these products are products that I have used since those teen years. Some of the stuff it's updated, but if you're on a journey to go back to regular nail polish, whether it be for financial reasons, like budgeting reasons, I get it, times are tough. Or if you're on a healthy nail journey, come, gather round. Because I got some really good products that are drugstore, and they won't break your bank, and they'll have your nails looking clean. So to begin, I already prepped my nails. I already pushed back the cuticles. I shaped them exactly how I wanted them, which I kind of just go for like a round shape. I think it's the best shape to complement my hands. I have very chubby fingers, as you can see. Don't judge. One of the products that I've repurchased frequently over the years is this Orly Bonder base coat. It's a rubberized base coat, and basically it's a grippy primer for your nails. That's what it is. I noticed a huge difference. Originally I bought this so that it wouldn't stain my nails. I just needed something. I actually intended to get like the nail hardener that they used to carry. I remember I bought this at Kmart like years ago, and I've repurchased since then because I think it's that good. I do notice a difference in the longevity of my manicures. And I forgot to mention, when I do my own nails, usually last about a week and a half. I can make it last up to 2 weeks. However, I'm really rough with my hands. I do dishes by hand with no gloves. I garden outside with no gloves. I type. I bite my nails sometimes in high stress, and so it can last up to 2.5 weeks. I know for my sister, I've done her nails before. They've lasted like 2.5, 3 weeks. And I know that she's a little easier on her hands. Me, however, I cannot be bothered. So a week and a half, but also I change my polish frequently. So anyways, yes, the Orly Bonder Rubberized Base Coat, and it dries really fast. So I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna swipe it on. I'll show you guys how it looks. And this is how the brush looks. I don't know if you can see it. That's how the brush looks. So I really like that type of brush where it's stiff enough to apply the product and it's narrow enough to where it won't make a mess, but it's wide enough to where it does cover quite a bit of surface. Okay, that's how we're looking. I don't know if you could see it. So while that dries, I forgot to mention that one of my favorite tools that I use for cuticle work is the Sally Hansen cuticle remover. And I have a metal cuticle pusher that I usually just go in first, and I push back my cuticles a little bit. I kind of scrape the sides just because my cuticles can be really rough. So I kind of push everything to the side. I go in and file my nails, and then I go in and put this on. I let it sit for like maybe 3 minutes. I'll start scraping it off, and then I'll wipe it off. And then I'll go in with a cuticle trimmer or some like cuticle scissors. How many times can I say cuticle? And I'll trim the excess very, very, very carefully. I don't even do a lot. I just enough to, for me personally, I have a little flap that grows over, just enough to cut that over. And actually disregard that little black mark. I was writing something and I have some ink and I just can't be bothered. So it's gonna get covered with polish anyways. Moving on. My favorite polishes are all from the drugstore, and one of my OGs that I can always count on is the regular Essie brand. This one is in the shade Sepia Retreat. I find that I personally, again, I like the brush. Hold on. I like the brush on this. It's again wide enough to be able to work, but thin enough to make things controlled. It's stiff enough. It's stiff enough to where I can have control, but it's thin enough to where I can go around my cuticles and keep it controlled. And it's wide enough to where I can get more surface area. I think it falls right in the middle in price range. I've noticed it's not super affordable. It runs you about $9, but I do like it. I do like also that if you don't go in with the top coat a few days, if your polish chips, you can just paint right over it and it looks great. It comes in a lot of different colors and they constantly have collections coming out, so that means new colors. So I think this is a really solid one. I've been using this again since I was younger and it hasn't done me wrong. Another one of my favorite polishes falling into that Essie brand as well is the Gel Couture line. And this one's a little bit more expensive. I believe it runs you about $12 to $13 depending where you get it. It's more pricey. However, this will last me a solid week and a half. This will last me the 2 weeks actually. I don't know what it is about their gel system, but it truly does dry down like a gel, and the lasting power is like a gel, but the removal is easy. I really, this is a formula that I really enjoy. I feel like it lasts me a while. Again, same thing with the brush. It's the same brush as the other one. It's wide enough to where I can get enough surface area, thin enough to where I can do some cuticle work with it and go around my cuticles, but it's sturdy enough to where I can control it. So I feel controlled. And then I really like the little mechanism. I don't know if you can see right there, the little wavy, because it does drip down the polish, so it's easy to get excess polish off. Again, it does come in a ton of different colors, and you can buy this on its own or with a top coat, which I'll show you right now. Again, similar as this. They constantly have different collections coming out, so there's constantly different colors coming out according to whatever is on trend. So this is a formula that I recently found within the last like 6 months, I want to say, but I've been really enjoying this. I have a few other colors too, but these are just the contenders that I'm picking out that I think I'm going to do right now. Now, another one of my favorite polishes is, I think, a classic, the OPI. These are a little bit, these fall right in the middle between these. I believe these run you anywhere from like $8 to $12 depending on the collection and depending on where you buy them. But again, with the Essie, I feel like this is the thicker formula out of these two. These two don't tend to get goopy on me. These can. For example, I've had this one for a few months and you could see it already kind of gooping. The brush, I enjoy the Essie brush a little bit more. The OPI isn't too bad, but it does get frayed easily, as you can see. It's not bad. Again, it comes in a ton of different colors. You can find any color you can think of. And they also have new collections dropping most of the time, all of the time. So again, these are some of my favorites. And if you're wondering shades, the Essie one, this Essie one is 345 bubbles only. It's like a deep red. The OPI one is in Got the Blues for red. And then the polish shade for the Essie, the brown one, I believe this was a limited edition from like the Rodeo collab. I'm not sure. You might not be able to find it. I hope you do. But it's called 611 Sepia Retreat. The only reason I picked this up truly is because brown polish is very trendy and I think it looks so gorgeous, but then I put it on me and I don't like the look of it. And so I figured I'd try it. But I think I'm leaning more towards my OG red polish. So I think that's what I'm going to go. I'm going to go in and do one coat. I'll come and show you guys. Let it dry for a little bit. And then do the second coat and then show you guys. And then we'll go into the top coats. Okay, so this is the first coat. And I really don't go in and clean up my cuticles. Just kind of let it be and let it live its life. And I know it'll come off. However, if you feel the need to go in and clean up, just... you can use any small little detailer brush. Sometimes I've even gone and just bloop while it's still wet and call it a day. But yes, look at how opaque that is. And that's the first coat. So let me do my other hand. Actually, Actually, let me put up my other hand so you could see. You could just do one coat and go away with it, but I like the opacity. So I'm going to do this other hand and then I'll go in with the second coat and then I'll show you guys. Okay, so 2 coats versus 1 coat. You see how you could technically get away with doing 1 coat, but 2 coats just makes it much more richer in color. Like I said, I don't clean up. I know it'll fall off, so let me do this other hand and then we'll come back and talk top coats. Okay, I went ahead and did 2 coats on both of them. It's been about 1 minute. They're still wet, obviously, so I try to be as careful as I can. However, let's talk top coats. So I have 2 top coats that are my absolute favorite. One of them I've been using for years and the other one I discovered recently. So the one that I discovered years ago is the Seche Vive. You have to make sure it's the Seche Vive. It's the instant gel effect top coat. It's long lasting. It dries fast. I can put this on and within 10 minutes, like good to go. No smudging, no anything. However, it is important to work in thin layers. I don't know if I mentioned that. And that's honestly partly why I really like the Essie line and these specific polishes. They're very thin and easy to work with. Like I said, the OPI does get a little goopy with age, but for example, I've had this one for a few months and it's still thin and it's opaque and full coverage. And it's so easy to get this color with thin coats. And so that really helps. So when I go in with my top coat, I do, I'd say a fairly thin coat of it. It's not so thin, but it's not goopy. But I'd say it's right in the middle. I'd say I use a right in the middle drop of this on each nail. Spread it out, let it dry, 10 minutes, boom, good to go. I do think this is a little less long lasting than the other top coat that I'll show you, but it's a really solid one. I believe you can find this at Walmart, any major retailer. I think it retails for around $11. If not, I'll write the correct price somewhere here. But I really like this one. It's old reliable. It's been with me for years. However, recently I discovered the Essie one from the gel system that I was telling you about. And this one doesn't have any fast drying claims, but I feel the same way. I put this on 10 minutes. I feel like I'm good to go, no smudging. That's why I like doing my nails at night as well. Because like I said, I use my hands a lot. So when I'm asleep, I'm not using my hands. I put this on, I wait about 15-ish minutes. That way I make sure I don't get any like blanket patterns on them. And they're good to go. In the morning, I wake up, I don't have to worry about like, well, I got my hands wet or anything. Just boom, good to go. But anyways, reeling it back in. It's a really good one. I don't think I showed you guys the brush on this one, but this is what it looks like. That's how it looks. You can see some of the product drying out right there. But really great product, really great top coat, a really good one. This one's really great too. It has the same brush type as that one. So like I said, I do get a little bit more wear time with this top coat, and it doesn't have to necessarily be with this specific system. I've used it with other polishes and I find that it does help with the longevity, and it gives me the same high shine finish. It lasts just as long and it is just as chip resistant. It's great. Like I said, they're both high shine gel effect top coats, but they remove easily like nail polish. So either one of these is phenomenal, and I believe this one runs for around the same price as the polish, which is about $12 to $13 depending on where you purchase it. But this is a phenomenal top coat. Let me go ahead and put it on and then I'll come back and show you guys. Okay, so I just went in with my top coat. It's this one. This is how they're looking like. Don't they look so good? Disregard the little marks on the side. They'll fall off by tomorrow. I just kind of like in the morning once it's fully dry, and they're good to go. But I'm just gonna sit here for like about 10 minutes, wait till they're dry, go to bed. Actually, first I'm gonna tuck my daughter in and then I'm gonna go to bed. But really, I just wanted to show you guys, because beauty to me is enhancing features and doing things that make you feel more confident in yourself. And for me, I don't wear a full face of makeup every single day. Sometimes I don't have the time, sometimes I don't feel like it. Sometimes my skin is breaking out so bad I need to go 3 or 4 days without makeup so that I can have a break. And in the meantime, having my nails done is something that really boosts my confidence, especially red polish, like I said. But sometimes I don't have the money, the resources, or the time to go get them done. And so this is where the DIY beauty tips and tricks kick in, because there's no shame in the DIY game. But I hope you guys enjoyed this style video and doing my nails with me. Thank you so much for watching if you made it to the end, and I'll see you next time. Bye. Love you.